Well, we discovered why he thought Dodge's answer to Dr. Zeus, because he plagiarises him shamelessly. Next up we have a lady doing her second head crash, I believe. And I've got it right this time, I didn't say soapbox. Actually, I've worked out why I said soapbox. I'll do a short plug here, because on Saturday the 30th, which is not the Saturday, the Saturday after, it's the 100th soapbox gig. It's an all-dayer at Norwich Arts Centre from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 1 o'clock in the morning. It's only about 5, I think. Loads of stuff, and I'm emceeing the afternoon. I was just getting into character for that. That's why it came out. Anyhow, as I pointed out last time, this lady has a name which is perfect, amphibrachic tetrameter. An amphibrach is a metric foot which goes so unstressed, stressed, unstressed. And obviously an amphibrachic tetrameter, obviously. There's 4 of them in a row. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Carmina Masoliver Marlowe.
I'm going to read a mix of old and new stuff, so sorry if you've heard some of it before. I'm also going to go along with the Disney thing that was on just before, and my first one is about Cinderella. These days, Cinderella stays out past midnight, gets into a cat fight, covers up a love bite with her long hair as she stumbles on each stair, and she doesn't really care. What are you looking at? She says, with holes in her tights wearing last night's dress, so she gets on the bus but not make a fuss, because she kind of looks like she'll throw a good punch, and has acrylic nails that make you bleed. A straightener so powerful could make your hair recede, and as she bends down to adjust her shoe, you better pray she's not coming after you. In the street she stumbles again, her slip's not made of glass, trips on the uneven pavement, nearly falls onto her arse. She flicks her heels off in frustration and lets her soles get dirty. But her stomach is rumbling badly now as it's coming up to 3:30 and she hasn't had a bite to eat, and all she wants is to put up her feet, but other than that her life is sweet. So sometimes I wish I was like Cinderella. She drops her shoe and soon after gets a fella, but he always leaves her after one night with his true love Stella. I find it really difficult to do like funny poetry, so most of my stuff is quite serious. And with the next one I've kind of combined the two, so it's quite serious but at the same time I've tried to like lighten it up a bit. It's called Playing Games. I have grown to hate you, to constantly berate you, and behind your back isolate you, and I don't know what to do. 'Cause I used to love you, put nothing and no one else above you, and now I want to club you with a bat. Fancy that? And just because you cheated doesn't mean you had me defeated. You did not have me completed, and I am still alive. Turns out you're not the person I thought you were. I just have an overactive imagination. Your beauty and personality was simply my creation. So why don't you fuck off and fuck her till she gets bored and you're left with your PlayStation. This is a new one, it's called Passing Time. Pass the condoms, pass the salt. I cannot come, it's not your fault. I'm over here, I'm over there, while I remove your underwear. It's been so long and I am weak. I just want touch, so just don't speak. Squeeze my ass, slide inside and thrust. This is not love, it's only lust, and it feels good. It's better than drinking. I may not come, but it stops me thinking. A lot of the stuff I write is from personal experience, which can be kind of annoying because you kind of get sick of it. But anyway, like this one is, again, a personal one, but I quite like it, so I hope you do too. It's called Roots. My roots are more than the people in my bloodline. More than a diagram of my family tree, they are my ink-stained name at the bottom of a love letter, filled with drawings and poems and random thoughts, all scrawled with a desire of wanting to share everything I can. My roots are in the colour of the sea, the colour of my hair and the waves that I've swam through, in the wetness of my cheeks from downward eyes and quivering lips. My roots are in my laugh, my smile and my skin and my seasick stomach and my loaded liver and my beating, blood-pumping, jumping heart. My roots are love of olives and omelettes and pilo and tapas bars, give me sweet sangria, good music and great friends. A shyness that shines, not a shyness that defines, all star signs and red fabric of sex and passion and buds, all draped over me like the emperor of new clothes. My roots are gravy over everything, baths and showers full of gravy, ribs and lakes and scuba diving tanks, spinning around in teacups and breaking saucers. My roots are words, 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 reading and poetry and essays, talking and shouting, not getting a word in edgeways. My roots are art, sculptures and paint slang, and TSM, drip, 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 into colouring books and Dr. Dots. My roots are musical notes and little songs, bringing on the trumpets from my grand's brass band. The tinkle of his father's piano fades in memory, and I wish I could play, but all I have is a DVD and a dusty keyboard and amputated arms. My hands running away from ticking clocks, whilst my laptop melts. My roots are present through my bark, to my branches, to my leaves. Even when fallen, even when the wind sweeps them away and scatters them among the earth, my roots are everywhere I am. The next one is actually a short story that I'm going to read. I'm doing English Lit at UEA, and I just started doing a creative writing module, so it's just something that I wrote during that, really. It's called Trafalgar Square. A loud gushing of water was roaring like a thunderstorm. Sprays of water hit the concrete pavements as if it were the first raindrops of April. The sky was darkening as the sun began to hide behind statues and art galleries. The closing day did not stop. The stomping feet of passers-by and people standing by street lamps or steps or bus stops. The traffic whirred around the square with frequent interruptions of police sirens and car horns. The city was beginning to light up and the buildings were becoming silhouettes against the darkening blue. I plodded away from the fountain spray so not to get wet and catch a cold. Though my bones were weary and my body most probably diseased, I did not want to catch cold. The noise of the gushing water amongst the stomping passers-by was irritating, but this was home. It was life as I'd always known it. Suddenly, a boy ran towards me with evil glee spread across his face, hands clapping and a strange noise coming out of his mouth. I feebly flapped my wings and flew a few metres away, but the child persisted the chase. Eventually his mother wandered over, and I hoped she had come to defuse the situation and for them to both go away. Instead, she just absent-mindedly said something to the boy to make him stop for a second and got back to her conversation with the small black thing she held up to her ear. The chase continued and my breath was becoming short. It seemed bizarre that this child found the cruel act of frightening me so fascinating, yet this kind of behaviour was so common here. Not a day would go by without it happening. I was growing old now. The routine was becoming tiresome and difficult. The boy managed to coerce me by this chasing method back near the fountains. I ruffled my feathers with the cold wetness hitting me. At last his mother grabbed hold of his hand and began to walk away, at which point I mustered enough strength to fly away. I flew higher and higher, swirling like a paper aeroplane and landing on a tall, empty surface. I looked down on the square as the breeze ran through my feathers. Here I was untouchable. Then, unexpectedly, there was a clopping sound coming from below, and a man emerged and climbed to the top of the surface next to me. "Pesky pigeons," he muttered, while he flicked the wires in some kind of machine. All of a sudden music erupted from this thing, and